They're craving after COVID, they're craving human connection. The power of connection is your superpower. I mean, when you can connect Bob and Sue, whatever the businesses are, and they coincide well together, you're like, dude, you guys should talk. I've done that, oh God, hundreds of times. And then I'll reach back out to them and be like, hey, how'd the conversation go? I mean, you guys are doing some business? And 90% of the time, I mean, I'm guesstimating here, I didn't calculate it, but it's in the high bracket of success. They're like, oh yeah. And
right.
I'm like, that's a trickle-down effect. Now, you're the catalyst to create that connection. There is the value. And you don't ask for deals. You just ask to bring value to them. They will innately want to bring value back to you. They psychologically, they can't help but do that.
We know all real estate agents want to acquire clients consistently so that they can grow their business and income for that great lifestyle. This broadcast brings you the best and top people in the industry to support that quest. This is Dave Fanale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and Align, your premier real estate solution. Good morning, everybody. Again, we are January 16th, 2026, and we have been doing this broadcast for just about over 7.5 years, and episode 399. Really excited about every broadcast I do, and I'm just so excited today to have Greg McDaniel on. Greg is been in the real estate business for quite some time, and really, let me read what I wrote. Yes, and I do read my intro. I don't memorize it, sorry, but Greg McDaniel's been in real estate long enough to know this truth, that there isn't just one way to build a great business. Most people are teaching agents how to talk louder, faster, and to more strangers. Greg's been asking a different question. What if success didn't start with a pitch, but with a conversation? He believes real estate isn't about being a salesperson. It's about being present, being trusted, being part of something bigger than a transaction. He's not here to tell you to make more calls. He's here to remind you that everybody's got a story. And the best businesses are built by the people who take the time to actually listen to them. Greg, welcome.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it. And it's so true when it comes to building a lasting real estate business. And this is my personal experience and my thought pattern. Look, I've done literally over a million cold calls. I have a 12-line dialer. I have a 3-line dialer. I mean, I can grip and rip, 3,000 to 5,000 phone calls a day. And that will take me about 3 hours. But that used to work really well. What I'm finding is one-on-one personal interactions is the most impactful thing you can possibly do. Let me give you an example. I had a dinner with a friend of mine up here in Grass Valley, and she and I were talking about some, deep topics. I'm not going to get into those conversation points, but they were heavy. Let's say there were some tears involved on both sides, right? And so I challenged her. I said, you know what? I challenge you to do a cold plunge with me. And she said, what's a cold plunge? I'm like, and I explained it to her, jump in really, really, really stinking cold water, and then you pop out and you feel better. At least that's what you tell yourself. So I didn't think she was going to show up and do it. She showed up and did it with me and jumped in the pool. Now, why is this important? The important part is there was a personal connection, and there was not a personal connection prior to our conversation the other evening. But she showed up in her swimsuit, jumped in the pool with someone she just met because there was a reaction to an interaction. And that's what I think a lot of people are missing in today's day and age. Look, I do videos, I do calls, I do, everything that every other agent does. But the one thing that I've learned from my father, Terry McDaniel, I call him the Grand Master, because he's been doing it for 47 years in 3 different states, is that he's like, Greg, go out, get 3 other people and yourself, go get coffee, lunch, breakfast, cocktails, dinner, do something, create that interconnection so that once you get Bob, Steve, and Sue, whatever, I'm not trying to be sexist, but you know what I mean. And you get them talking together. And then you say, you know what, Bob, you should really talk to Sue because she does this business, you do that business. This could be a really powerful networking opportunity. You do that 2 or 3 times a week. Now you take a CRM and you put it on crack, right, so that people can now build their businesses and you can build yours, because the most powerful question you could ever ask somebody, which nobody asked, which I'm going to actually ask you, Dave, has anybody asked you this question? I'm going to ask it right now. Hey, Dave, and this is an open house, or, just calling a past client or something like that. And it doesn't matter, right? Anybody. Hey, Dave, how can I help build your business? Who's your perfect client that I can connect you with? How can I help you? When does someone ask you that?
Never. And
That's the power.
It's something that, we've talked about in, systems that I've built and I've worked on over the years, where, it's like, okay, so here's the thing. Okay. Cold calls we mentioned several times, and you talked about basically what you talked about is relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the important thing about when you talk to the people is that people get nervous about it. People don't want to talk to the people they know, because I think they're saying in their heads, "Oh shit, here comes a pitch," right?
So
But you talk about conversations, right? And one of the things I say to people when they know you're already in the business, and of course that's a preface, right?
Right.
To say, instead of saying, yeah, do you have a real estate need? What you can say is, look, you know what? Hey, man, you know what? We've known each other a long time, and I just want to help as many people as I can. And I know I'm going to help a lot of strangers this year, but I'd also like to help the people I know, the people I care about and love. I mean, you got a real estate need or not, and that's my specialty, obviously. But if you or anybody, I'd love to be able to help them, because I want to help the people I know and care and love already, rather than strangers. I mean, I'll still get to help the strangers, but I mean, it's just a different way to go with it, and it's more about the relationship than it is about doing business.
It is. Doing the cold calls, the mailers, social media, getting that funnel, the top of funnel filled and continually filled. It's like, so I'm drinking tea right now, right? If I want more tea, I have to keep putting water into it. Same thing for leads. And I completely agree with you. It's that interpersonal relationship, having that conversation, and it's very real to the fact that I'm guilty of this as well. Like I hesitated for a long period of time to call my past clients, because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm just, hitting them up for another deal or referral or something like that. In reality, guys and gals, think about this. Legitimately think about this. The people that you've worked with trusted you with hundreds of thousands of dollars and a large investment, probably one of their largest investments that they'll make. And then they tell their friends about you because you did a good job. And you think that they don't want to go get a cup of coffee or a beer with you? That's the way I thought for a long time. And it's completely irrational. These people literally trusted you. I had a guy hand me an $850,000 down payment check, cashier's check, literal cash. And I'm like, just hand me about $1 million in cash. And he's like, yeah, I trust you. I'm like, wow. But that's the level that we have to start thinking in 2026 and beyond, is to the fact that if you make that one phone call, one phone call, one email per day, that's it. That's all it takes. Say, hey, Dave, long time no chat, brother. Saw you on Facebook. How was Hawaii? I want to buy you lunch. When can we get together? Send. That's it. Go to Facebook. Yeah. You do a story or a reel on Instagram and Facebook. Respond to every single person who liked and viewed. View their stories, like and comment on their stuff. Ask them out for lunch or coffee. Your business will explode. People they're craving, after COVID, they're craving human connection. Give it to them.
The important thing about what you're saying is you're actually giving out a strategy, right? This is a special strategy. No, I take that back. This is a strategy where you're talking to people and you're trying to build it up. And there's something to it, to talk to people about setting up coffee dates or drink dates or whatever it is. And it's really important. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of times, even if they say no, don't stop asking, just keep asking, because the invitation is probably just as important as the actual event or whatever you're doing. I tell agents all the time, do your own event. They go, well, how can I do an event? I'm not going to promote. I said, no. A mini event. Talk to 5 people that you know in your database or friends of yours invite, hey, look, we're meeting for a drink on Tuesday night at 5 o'clock. I'm buying everybody one drink. Come on down. We'll talk a little bit, or we're going to meet for coffee at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Just come on down. We're just going to bullshit a little bit. And, hey, look, you don't want to come. Great. If you can't make it, fantastic, but I'd love to see you. The invitation that I just made means the world to people, and it builds your relationship. So if they need something, I mean, look, it's building a business, right? I'm not talking about being phony. I'm talking about being real. And you just said the most important thing, which everybody should add to it. I might want to add to that is, hey, you know what? Another friend of mine, Joe's coming, and he's in this business. You guys probably will get along really well. You might be able to help each other.
Yeah. It's the power of connection is your superpower. I mean, when you can connect Bob and Sue, whatever the businesses are, and they coincide well together, you're like, dude, you guys should talk. I've done that, oh God, hundreds of times. And then I'll reach back out to them and be like, hey, how'd the conversation go? I mean, are you guys are doing some business? And 90% of the time, I mean, I'm guesstimating here, I didn't calculate it, but it's in the high bracket of success. They're like, oh yeah, we got along incredible. They're coming over for Thanksgiving, or, they're a part of my network. I introduced them to, the other person and another person.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a trickle down effect. Now, you're the catalyst to create that connection. There is the value. And you don't ask for deals. You just ask to bring value to them. They will innately want to bring value back to you. They psychologically, they can't help but do that. Like, they have to return the favor in some way, shape, or form. And they might say, hey, well, I'll buy breakfast, I'll buy lunch, or I'll do this, or hey, you know what? You should really talk to Phil over here. He would be a great guest on Dave's podcast. Okay, perfect. That's a value add return. And that is as simple as it gets. If you don't want to do calls, don't do calls. If you don't want to spend the money on mailers, don't do the mailers. If you don't like doing social media and being on videos, don't do it. But just be a human. That's the number one thing, in whatever realm that means for you. Now, I've never met a microphone or a camera I don't like. So for me, this is my Dave's laughing. This is my platform. This is where I live, right? But when you get belly to belly, face to face with people, like I didn't meet a guy. I worked with a guy yesterday on my parents' ranch here in Grass Valley. And I got to tell you, my back is breaking right now because I spent 10 hours on a stinking tractor hauling dirt all over this place. And I literally had tears coming down my face last night because it hurt so bad. And the reason I tell you the story is because I connected with the guy who was showing me how to do everything. His name is Brandon, by the way. Wonderful man, right? But he and I we're building a relationship based on a tractor. Now think about that. Mm-hmm. It has 4 wheels and hauls mud. Now, what kind of conversation could you have with anybody? It could be about jewelry, clothes, cars, the real estate market, the area, the schools, dogs, cats, goldfish. I don't care. Start talking. Get back out there. Get involved. Get interested in other people. When you become interested in them, they become interested in you.
Yeah.
And everybody wins.
Yeah. And the old saying, I don't remember who did it, but before they will be interested in you, you need to be interested in them. Be interesting. I'm sorry. The
adage goes, before they care about you, they have to know that you care about them.
Care about that. Right. And that's so important. And I talk about that all the time. I mean, I do a session before this, all about planning and prep your schedule for your real estate business. And, I take it off on tangents and stuff. And I talked about that actually today in an example where I was actually running for board of trustees for my HOA. Why? I don't know. I had a lapse of insanity, but
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. I mean, but the question came to me and says, well, can you be a neighbor as well as, enforce rules and regulations and stuff? And how would you do that? And I used one word to answer the question. I said, empathy.
Oh, good answer.
How else do we know that maybe a rule might be stupid? I believe most of the rules here are stupid. but that's beside the point, right?
I agree.
But the thing is, like, if you're empathetic with someone about their situation and true to who you are, that's the best way to have a conversation. I mean, look, we talk about. One of the other adages is, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You're supposed to listen more than you talk.
Yep.
And that is really a great example in truth, because the more you listen to the people you're talking to, the better you can do, right? And build your business that way.
But it's also like talking to your spouse, right, Dave? And it's like, if let's say you're married and you have a wife or a husband, right? And you just talk at the other individual, it's eventually going to fall literally on deaf ears. But if you engage with them and get their thought patterns and concerns back, it's going to be an interactive, positive partnership. Relationships are no different than business relationships. It's all based upon trust, and it's all based upon letting the other person be heard and seen, so they feel validated. Once that takes place, your value in another person's mind goes through the roof. And it literally, like David, like you said, it's just listening. God says, gave 2 ears, 1 mouth. Utilize the assets that you have given to you in the appropriate amounts. But yeah, that's my take on it. I'm so glad that we both feel the same way.
So one of the things that I preach when it comes to prospecting is, I say, make sure you are an active listener. And I basically say, my definition of being an active listener is, you ask a question, you listen to the answer, you repeat the answer, you approve of the answer, and ask your next best question. And it is perfect to talk to, potential client about it, for sale by owner, expired, whatever it is. But you got to make sure that you're not like, so monotone or so monotonous. But the point I want to make is, based on in our business of real estate, that's the perfect methodology to use to have a conversation, to keep going, because you keep asking questions. But I just want to get off real estate for a second and say, look, how about if you did this with your spouse? How about if you did this with your kids? How about, instead of saying, I need you to understand this, or I want you to understand, or let me tell you this, how about just ask the freaking question? How about ask a question instead of saying, I need you home on time, right?
Right.
You could say, doesn't it make sense for you to get home at a certain time so that everybody doesn't wait for you to have dinner, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I just do that out of the top of my head, but still, if we talk more in questions, it would be more caring and everything else. And this is something that I preach, and I learn more and more every day that I actually say it.
It's being interested in another human being's life and saying, hey, honey, you know what? I would love to see you around 6, because the kids, I'll have dinner ready. And, we're having pasta tonight, your favorite, with the meatballs. Can you be here by 6? Yeah, I can be there by 6. Not, what time are we going to be home? It's like that the tonality and the shift on that is significant, because you're giving value to another person's life. Now, that everybody's favorite topic is themselves. We all are. We're all a narcissist at some level.
Right.
And so if you can play into that thought pattern, and I'm not saying be a narcissist. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, we love to talk about ourselves, our achievements, our day, blah, blah, blah. Allow people to do it. Give them the opportunity to be the hero in the story, because there's the hero and then there is the teacher. Be the teacher. Let them be the hero. And then all of a sudden, you become the hero in their life in some way, shape, or form. Now, if you're consistent and persistent on that thought pattern, people around you will gravitate towards you, because they're gonna see value in your conversations with them.
Right.
There's a lot of times that I get, my goodness, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of people that I have conversations with from time to time that they just won't stop talking about the problems in life. Now, do I not pick up that phone call? No, I pick up that phone call every single time. Why?
Right.
Because they need to be seen. They need to be valued. And you know what? I'm not looking for a deal. I'm looking to be a friend. I'm looking to be a human. And I'm looking, you know what? And down the road, they will remember that conversation. I talked to a friend of mine the other day, and they said, look, man, I basically don't talk to anybody anymore. I talk to you and this other dude, not like in a weird way, just friends, right? And my coaching clients, and that's it. And I'm like, why not? And they told me, nobody listens. Nobody hears me. I just feel lost. And I said, that is truly sad. It is truly sad. So if one person tells me that, what's going on with the rest of everybody out there? I mean, people are hurting. And if you just let them be heard, you become more valuable than gold. And then you can build a business off that, because they will talk about you at dinner parties, at business parties, at different events.
Right.
They will recommend you for speaking gigs. They will say, hey, look, Bob over here, helped me buy my house. He was the best. He listened to me through blah, 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 yakety schmack. And he's the only guy I trust. I mean, it's really honestly that simple. I mean, I can give you a couple of other ways to get that funnel moving, but it depends on you.
No. Let's hear about that, because I mean, people need. Look, here's what I know about real estate agents, especially newer ones or ones that are stuck or ones that are having a lull in their business, is they don't know how to get on track. They don't know how to get their first deal or their 21st deal, or some people just get stuck. So if there's ways that we can talk about to get the ball rolling for people, that's really important.
Okay, not a problem. Here, I'll start off, and I'm probably going to roll for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
So one of the fastest, the most free is not proper English, but a free way to do this, and we all have it. Well, where is it? My phone's around here. Oh, it's in my pocket. This little thing is a walking, talking, film studio. The audio is phenomenal. The video is phenomenal, shooting 4K. You can film things about your life. View your day and your life like a book. Now, what does a book have? It has chapters. Every chapter is different. So you get up and you, like the property I'm in right now, they have chickens, right? So get up, get the cats out, get the 22 chickens out, get the dogs fed, get stuff going on around the property, and you make a video about it. So I prompted one of the people living on the property. I said, look, you want to get more visibility, go out, show me your chicken boots. Literally, she has chickens on her boots. And get in because it was a rainy day, get in the rain and shoot about the chicken coop flooding. Why is that important? It's life. And then ask for people to respond. You always have to put into social media, hey guys, if you like this video, maybe make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with everybody who might like chickens or about whatever the video is about. Then you move on to the next part of your day, and you're going to go show a house. Great. Show me the house with, don't show addresses or anything like that. Keep it private to a certain level. Don't never mention any names, never show any kids without the permission from parents. And then, just talk about different aspects of your life. Then everybody that responds to that, you hit them back. You like their story. You follow their story. You thank them for following you on Facebook and Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever, right? Communicate. It's called social media for a reason. Be social. Don't be a narcissist and just post and just, I want everybody to watch you. No, get out there, get involved, have fun. I mean, it is literally that simple. And you can shoot a 30-second video or 60-second video at a zero-cost basis with the highest possible return. Then you build the relationship, ask them out to go get coffee or lunch or drinks or dinner or whatever, fill in the blank, like we talked about earlier. But you have to fill that funnel, and it doesn't cost you a dime. Some people are going to say, like, look, do the mailers. I have literally 2 calling systems. One's a 12-line, one's a 3-line dialer that I'll crush out the calls. But people are becoming so desensitized to calls. Even my own cell phone server, Verizon, unbeknownst to me, by the way, check with your server on this. They put filters on my phone, which I have to call them today about. Thank you for reminding me. And it's like, hi, this is Greg's personal assistant. What are you calling about? And I'm like, what? I never authorized this. But calls are going to be going by the wayside unless you do the finger dial through your database or through your friend list or through your phone right here. By the way, all the contacts in here, if you pick one person a day and just make a phone call to them and just say, hey, let's go out and hang out, your life is going to shift dramatically and you get to reconnect. I had a buddy of mine I hadn't seen since high school. He and I went out and got, we got some barbecue at a restaurant, and then we got a beer, and I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Like peas and carrots, man. We were talking, laughing, hanging out, and now we're sending different memes back and forth to each other. He's thinking about buying some property. He's like, Greg, do you represent in this area? I said, I absolutely do. He's like, great. Let's start talking over barbecue and having a good time. And it's all because he responded to me on social media, and then I responded to him. But seriously, go out and start talking and filming about anything that is in your realm. It's going to be relevant to somebody else because they know, like, and trust you. They already know what you're about. And you're like, oh my God, Greg, I don't look good on camera and I sound horrible. And I'm like, welcome to life. We all think we look horrible on camera, and we all think we sound like garbage on a microphone. But guess what?
Right.
You have family and you have friends. They have not run away with their ears bleeding and blinded because of what they saw and what they heard. You can be a purple Smurf hanging upside down from a workout bench, but if you bring value, people are going to watch and listen.
Yeah, and just understand something. These people have been hearing your voice for a long time. So if you don't like your voice, guess what? Everybody's heard it already. There's nothing. And like there was I think it was Katie Lance that I first heard. It says, people say they don't like the way they look on camera. People say they don't like the way they sound on camera. And her response is really simple. Get over it.
Yeah, get over it.
Get over it. I mean, look, there's social media there was social media 40, 50 years ago, but we've already talked about that, by the way. And that is, let's go have coffee. That is, pick up the phone and call them, right? I mean, it's odd. I mean, I can say this, and I don't know if there's a lot of people that would watch this episode that would understand that years ago we used to run to the phone. Now we run away from it. We used to run to the door when somebody knocked on it. Now we hide, right? And there's a comedian out there that talks about this.
I was just going to bring that up.
Sebastian Maniscalco talks about. He's got a little bit about when somebody comes to the door. I mean, we used to run to it. I mean, look, I'm the youngest of 8 kids, and when the phone rang, we ran to see who could answer it. Yeah. Right now, it's like the phone rings. It's an annoyance, guys. Every time that phone rings, that could be someone that you could help, and there might not be monetary gain attached to it, but there could be a lot other different types of gain attached to it. So I suggest that don't run away from your phone. I think you run toward communication, that kind of thing. But, there's just so many ways to look at different things. And one of the things that you've mentioned, you used the word narcissist a couple of times. And it's funny because we mentioned this the other day when we were talking on the phone. Real estate agent does not mean when you get your license, it's not another class called Narcissism 101. It really isn't, right? It's like, I'm this, I'm that. I mean, I have agents I work with every day, and I say, look, it doesn't matter that you work with a great bunch of people or the team is great or we're number this or number that. It doesn't matter. What they care about is, do you care about them? We've said that several times already in the last 25 minutes. I mean, look, it's all about caring. It's what this business is all about. When you start thinking about the other person, I mean, look, I can go through names of coaches that have taught this: Matthew Ferry, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry. Okay, there's the Ferry family, right? But everybody else that you can really talk about as far as coaches are concerned. I mean, Joe Stump, by referral only. That was the system that he built, the system that he taught on. Brian Buffini is all about doing business by referral, sphere of influence, et cetera, et cetera. But it's all about communication. It's all about contacting. And it brings us to like you've over the years, Greg, that you've been involved in this business. You've done podcasts. You've done a lot of different things. You did one, I believe it was called Real Estate Uncensored, and now you're going into something else. Tell us about why you started doing that podcast and into the new one that you're setting up right now.
Dave, I appreciate the question. And Howard Britton was another one that taught the same thing that you're bringing up. He used to run Star Power before he passed away, but he was my dad's personal coach. And my dad always tells me that when they got on those calls, not cheap calls, by the way, and they would talk maybe 10% about real estate, 90% about mindset and how you view the world and view people. And so I'm leading into your question. So Real Estate Uncensored was a brainchild of mine now 9 years ago. We ran it for 8 years. I shut it down because of other circumstances. But the whole premise of that was because I was walking around my office one day and I just started talking to the agents. And now keep in mind, I've been with these agents my entire career. They're literally were like family to me, right? And so I was walking around like, hey guys, what do you think about this? How would you respond to that? What would you do in this situation? What would you want to learn? How could you grow your business? Nobody had answers. And I'm like,
Right.
what in the heck is going on here? So I decided, you know what? Real Estate Uncensored. That's the name that my former business partner and I came up with. It was originally meant for the uncensored part was because I took the veil off of coaching and all the information because I learned from my dad and I sat at his feet with our business partner and I learned like lessons that you can't pay for. Like you literally can't pay to learn how negotiations, thought patterns, scripts, without really getting an intimate relationship with that human being. So I said, okay, well, there's a big need out there. So I started the show purely because if someone listened to that show in my marketplace and they got one piece of information that could make the deal go easier, I'm like, dude, great. Now we're both better. Then it took off like wildfire. I've been internationally training for years. We have, I think, 1,300 episodes or something. I mean, we were cranking out 3 videos a day for 5 years, plus, shorts and everything else. But it was purely to help and bring value to other human beings and make their lives better. I didn't want to make any money on it. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted them to make the money. So that one shut down. Which it's everything has a lifespan, right? A shelf life. So there's been a pulling on my heart. You and I were talking off air about different topics, and I'm not necessarily religious. I'm definitely spiritual. Like I definitely think there is something out there. I'm wrapping my brain around it. But the thing is that I'm like, you know what? I have a story. Dave has a story. You guys have a story. Everybody's going through a fight and a battle or a good thing or a bad thing that we don't know about, or a success or a technique or something. So the show's going to be called Everybody Has a Story. And I'm going to interview anybody I can get my hands on. If you got a good story, I don't care if you're a bum on the street or you're a quadrillionaire. I want to hear your story. People are going to pull some fragment out of that and be able to put it into their life and be like, I'm not alone. Suicide takes place consistently because people think they're 100% alone.
Right.
Businesses fail because they think they're alone.
Right.
Why not come together as an international and national community, tell our story, be vulnerable, be visible, so that Bob or Sue or Phil or Rebecca or whoever else is watching this going like, I'm in the same stinking place. Oh my gosh, I'm not alone. That is the reason why I'm doing this, because us real estate agents and podcasters and trainers and speakers and, just getting into the business agents, college students, whatever. You got something really cool to talk about, and I would love to hear it. And I want to see people listen to that so that they can say, oh my gosh, maybe I can reach out to this person, so that then the member going back to the connection, they can connect with the other individual and they can have an interpersonal relationship and benefit each other's lives. It's that simple.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the interesting part about different people in our business, especially, I mean, we come across all different people, all different kinds of people from all different walks of life. And there's stories out there. I mean, there's sad stories, there's happy stories. There's people that just have a story where, they knew what they were going to do and they were going to do this, they're going to do that. And that's how I have a friend of mine that was on a broadcast recently. He told me off air that, he didn't know what he wanted to do when he got out of school. And he Googled, what's the quickest way to make $1 million? And Google came up with 2 choices. one porn and one was real estate.
Can you combine them?
He chose, you know what? I don't know. I have a friend who also started his business next to a go-go joint, and he did really well. So I don't know, real estate business. So and if he ever watches the broadcast, he'll know who I'm talking about. My point being is that there's so many different things that people don't think about, and actually years later, they're fucking hilarious. I mean, just what we go through and things we have to deal with. I mean, it's just, I remember, in the beginning of my career when I was leasing apartments, renting apartments, and had to do repairs or whatever. And, I remember one tenant, yep, come on over. Just let yourself in. Nobody's going to be there. And I walked in and she heard me walk in. She says, come on in. She was in the shower. Right. And I say, no, see you later.
Gotta go.
Or the story when I was pumping gas when I was in high school where, a middle-aged woman invites me over to her house. She says, I'm lonely. Come on over to my house. Those stories, this stuff happens, right? And everybody has a story. I could go on and on about all different stories of growing up in this business. Growing up does not mean from when you're born to when you're 18. It means growing up from any time that something that helps you grow. I'm still growing up. I don't ever want to grow up.
It's a trick.
I'm still very, very silly. Okay, as you get older, they're called dad jokes instead of things you think are funny, right? So everybody does have a story, and whether it's funny or it's sad or whatever, or it involves, it could involve birth, it could involve death, it could involve a lot of things. But I really love the thought process to there and where that's going. And in real estate, stories are what really help you grow your business, right?
They are. And I tell stories about it all the time. Like there was a time we went to a listing appointment and the gentleman, very nice piece of property that's now been redeveloped. That's side note, that doesn't really matter. But he showed up to the front door butt naked. And we're like, this is going to be weird. We got the property sold for him. I had an older lady. Now, this lady, I swear to God, she should have been a comedian, or she may have been a comedian. But she and I would talk on the phone, and she would tell me the funniest freaking jokes. Now, I'm not going to repeat them here because she was a little on the morale side. But, we built a relationship and a friendship, and she was in her 80s. And I said, do you like beer? She's like, I love beer. I'm like, what kind of beer do you like? I think she liked Coors Light or something. And so I'm like, I'm coming over. We're going to have a beer together. I came over. We drank a beer together with a lady in her 80s because we got on a phone call and built a friendship and a relationship. Then I'm out door knocking one day because when I started in my business, it was not sexy. Okay, let's get that really clear. I was door knocking 7 days a week. I was making cold calls. I was doing database calls. I was writing letters. I was doing everything you should have done. And I've been in the game for 26 years. So think about this before social media. And so I go to this one door. It's a hot day. I'm talking like I'm drenched in sweat hot and I'm thirsty. And this lady, nice looking older lady, opens the door. Well, older lady, it's like my age, in her late 40s. But she opens the door and we have a nice conversation. She says, are you hot? And I'm like, yeah, pretty hot out here. She's like, come on in. I'll get you some water. So I go in. She shows me the house. Then she's like, are you single? And I'm like, yes, I am. I have a daughter you need to meet. And I'm like, I thought I was just getting water. Now I'm getting set up on a date. But it's the stories like that. Like another time I was door knocking and a guy in a wheelchair comes to the front door. He has a blanket over his lap. And he's like, hey, what do you want? I'm like, did my little spiel, who I am, where I'm from, why I'm there, blah, blah, blah. And he takes the blanket off of his lap. He had a 44 caliber handgun laying on his lap. And he cocks the hammer back and goes, so what do you want? I'm like, nothing. And I walked away as quickly as possible. But see, it's making you laugh. And that's a story. That's
Right.
the point. That, like, get curious with people. Look at what they have to talk about. Ask them questions, and you're going to thrive, guys. It's really stinking simple. People want to be seen and heard. That's it.
To support that even more, I mean, one of the things that the people I loved speaking to as I was growing up from, age to age to age is, and still to today, is talking to people that are older than me and their experiences, and just asking them a question and just letting them talk. I remember when I was, in my 20s, the most interesting people to me were my friends' grandfathers.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would sit and just, ask them questions about different things. And of course, they'd get into the stories because let's face it, I mean, our lives are just all about stories. It's all about what we did. It's, when you meet somebody new, it's like, you've got something, you're looking for something that's in common, right?
Mhm.
And in my area, it's about, I love food, I love restaurants, I love music. I do partake in adult beverages, and what we did when we were in our 20s, and what nightclubs we went to, and
Mhm.
what we did. And do you remember this one? Do you remember that one? And it's a long involved story. That place they call this over here? Incidentally, by the way, there's a place that if anybody's seen The Sopranos, here's a quick story for you. The place that The Sopranos was a burger joint at one time, and then it was a nightclub in the 80s, and
Really?
then it turned into Satin Dolls, which is the real name of it, and now that was Bada Bing in The Sopranos. It's still there. It's still called Satin Dolls. Still there.
No kidding.
Yep, it's a real place, real night, real
Huh.
adult entertainment location, with lots of dancers. But yeah, it's still there and still thriving. But like I remember that as a burger joint I went to in the 70s when I worked in the area, right? And then fast forward, another 10 years, it was a nightclub I loved going to, and then closed down for a while and became Satin Dolls. But there's a story, right?
That's
There's a
the
story
point.
over that went through 30, 40 years. And look, here's the thing, real plain and simple. I'm bringing it down to the simplest part. There's a book out there, the best-selling book in the world forever. It's called the Bible. What's it filled with? Stories. Okay, it's filled with stories. That's all there is to it. So
It is.
let people tell you their stories. I think that's what we're really getting at. Would you agree with that?
100%. There's another really good book, and the Bible is obviously a phenomenal book. Everybody has their own religion, so you pick your deity and go after that.
Exactly.
There's another book called Story Brand. So if you go to just Google Story Brand, you can download a PDF on their site, and the book is amazingly good because it literally tells you how to tell your story. And it has a whole, you can write out in the PDF, and then you can really kind of create your branding. So a lot of people, and this goes back to the last thing I'll say, because I know we're running out of time here, is a lot of folks, they ask me, Greg, how do I build a business plan? I said, well, you can build it any way you want. But what I do, I build a life plan. So I figure out how I want to look, where I want to live, the people I want to work with, the market I want to be in, what type of quality of people I'm going to deal with in regards to if someone's going to be rude, don't deal with them. If someone's going to be cool, work with them. But I say build a life plan, then build your business plan around your life plan so that you're living your best quality of life. Don't listen to what all these coaches and trainers are saying. You have to have the business plan. You're going to make all this money. You have to figure out your return and your expenses, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's a part of it. I understand that.
Absolutely.
But why not be happy while doing it? I mean, I love boating. I love sitting on a ski boat in the middle of the lake. I love it. It's like my happy place. Water hitting the hull, some music, a couple of beers, a sandwich, sunburn. It's my go-to. So country life, nah, not so much. I figure that's not my jam. Water, yes. So I'm building a life plan, another one this year, around being near water. and how I can influence and help people, what I can learn and how I can get involved with different, networks and learn how to, fishing and all this other stuff. I know how to fish, but you know what I mean? Getting involved
Yeah.
with different organizations, but build a story brand, build your story, build your brand around you. And the business will come because if you're a boater or Dave, you said you like restaurants. Great. Go out, build a brand about going all to the best restaurants, the medium restaurants, and the low grade restaurants, giving your take on every single one of them. There's a guy named Sam Chewy, I want to say. He's an Asian gentleman. He does reviews on airplanes. And my ex-girlfriend and I found him because we were planning a trip before COVID hit, which really pissed me off, by the way. It was like a bucket list freaking trip.
Yeah.
And it got canceled. And it took us 6 months to plan that damn thing. Here's the point. We watched Sam because he brought relevance to our lives, because he reviewed all the different airlines, the first class, business class, economy, different airlines, food, service, the whole thing. That's his brand. What is your brand? Don't tell me that some big coach told you to do something. Who are you? Tell me about you. Show me you. Show me your inner workings. Because if I was a big foodie, you know what? I'm going to watch Dave. I want to know where to get the best, spaghetti, the best steak, the best chicken, the best whatever, vegan, whatever. I'm going to follow him.
Exactly.
And he's relevant in my life.
It's when we talk about business plans, and I am very high on doing a business plan, but my business plan is a lot different than most, because I actually start in August, because I want to see how it can relate to what I'm going to do at the beginning of the year. I look at 12 months rather than a year, rather than a calendar year. And a lot of people think about this thing. How do I build a plan where I can build my business, I can have a great schedule, and have life work balance?
Mm-hmm.
I want to change that for you. Anybody that will watch this now or later, I want you to forget about life work balance, because it doesn't exist. What I want you to think about, and I want you to work toward, your plan, your business, what you're putting out on a regular basis. Make sure that everybody you care about is a part of that business plan, and they actually have their names on it, and you share it with them. Because guess what? That's where you start the harmonies of life, where your daughter, your son, your sister, your brother, they're in your business plan on a daily basis. Yes, it's you time, or it's date night, or whatever it is. Build a life work harmony where everything works together. And if there is stress in your day, the other people can help you relieve that stress, because they're a part of the harmony that makes life worth living. I mean, it's like we talked about, people do need our support one way or the other. This is how you can support the people in front of you every day. And I think that's really, really important for us to really push forward, is worrying about the harmony of our life will build our businesses to where we really want it to go.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, happiness is key. There's a lot of turmoil in the world right now, per this recording, all over the globe. And so people are stressing out on things you probably never know about. Go make your own life happy. Build your business on happiness, but don't get that twisted. You still got to freaking work. Okay.
Yeah.
You still got to put the laps in. You got to do the calls, do the doors, do the follow-ups, do the emails, do the social media, do the videos, build an online presence, respond to people, go out. You have to be a part of life, but be happy doing it. Figure your lane out, and I will guarantee you will be the happiest stinking person that you've been in a long period of time, because you're living the best version of you. And
Absolutely.
that is where I am. I wake up every day telling myself 3 things. You're handsome, you're successful, and you're loved. And then I'm like, I start my day off with that every single day. And I used to tell myself, nobody wants to talk to me today. Nobody wants to deal with me. I'm a loser. I don't do anything right. I can't get this right. I can't do that right. You will literally see your life collapse if you keep saying that. But if you invert that, and you tell yourself that you're an amazingly handsome or beautiful individual, successful, and it's not that I'm trying to do this. Never, ever use the word I'm trying to do this. You said, I've already done it. I am.
Right. And look, I want you. This is something completely different that I don't even think I've talked about for years. But it just hit me, when I wake up, sometimes I wake up late, I get so pissed off at myself. And then now what it is like, okay, today's going to be a great day. But I
Yeah.
want you guys to think about something else. I want everybody to think about there's going to be a time when someone's going to congratulate you, or they're going to give you a compliment, or they're going to tell you how much they loved what you did for them. I want you to get a book. And I want you to call it your highlight book or whatever it is. And I want you to write it down what they said to you when they said it. Okay. I don't care if it's once or 25 different things that people say, hey, Dave, thank you so much for helping me. You really came through for me. You were there when I needed you. My whole team thinks you're the best. Thank you so much. And write that down. And you should read that fucking book every day.
You know what, Dave?
It tells you exactly what you need to know. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to use his name, but the best coach, the most world-renowned coach in this business has that book and he reads it every day.
I love that idea. I've never heard that idea, but I love that idea. But here's what I want to throw this at you. You tell me if I'm crazy. Okay.
Okay.
Do exactly what you just said, right? Dated person, phone number, right? Then you put it in your calendar on your Google or whatever you're using for a calendar. 1 year later, you call them up. Hey, Dave, it's Greg. How are you? Small talk, small talk, small talk. Hey, man, the reason I'm calling you is that a year ago today, you told me blah, 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 blah. And it impacted me so much, I wanted to just call you back and invite you out for lunch. I'm buying. Now,
go ahead.
You can't outrun the success on that one.
No, you can't. And the other thing is that there's a lot of people that will do things for you that you forget to do that.
Yeah.
You forget to tell them. You forget. Look, I think the most important thing to me in my life is when I do something for someone, and the best thing I get out of it is thank you.
Yeah.
It's really all that matters. And here just one other thing I just want to throw out before we finish up today is, look, if that person you haven't told them what you feel, send them a handwritten note.
Yes.
I have 3 notes in my drawer from over the past 15 years. And they're from people that wrote me that. And they're always in my thoughts, always in my prayers. And they're wonderful people. They don't even know they've impacted me that way. But I tell them from time to time. Hey man, look,
Sure.
we've gone out, had great conversation. There's 3 things I got left. One is something I always ask at the beginning of the broadcast, but we got on a roll really quickly. And that is, it's called Real Estate Talk TGIF. What does TGIF stand for?
I'm going to let you fill that in for me. Thank God it's
Great.
Friday.
Thank God it's Fanale. That's the easy one. Here it is. It really is. Thank God. I mean, here I am. I mean, $3.99. How can you beat that, right?
You can't.
The next thing is, Greg, thanks so much for being on. How do I help you grow your business?
Be my friend. You know what? Let's exchange information. Well, we already have our information, but go guest to guest and see if there's a good guest for everybody has a story. I'll flip. I have a name. I have 2 names for you actually for future guests potentially. So let's just stay in contact. Let's bring value. Let's hang out, make dumb dad jokes, and just enjoy life. That would be the best thing. And then I'm going to return the same question. What can I do? What's the perfect guest for your show that I can connect you with?
Someone that's going to help others with their heart and soul, whether it's in real estate business or anything. I mean, next week we've got Russ Lagan coming on, who was in charge of growth for the western part of the country for EXP. Now I believe he's the vice president in charge of training. So
good guy, by the way.
Russ will be on next week. And we also have, in a couple of weeks, we have Courtney Benson coming on, who was recently on a broadcast, but is having her own personal battles that we're going to have on and talk about, which is really very cool of her to come on. It's a matter of human interest. It's a matter of real estate. It's a matter of however we can help people in the realm of the people we know. So
Yeah.
that's who I look for my broadcasts.
Okay, I'm right. I wasn't being disrespectful when I looked down. I was writing a couple of names down.
I do it all during the broadcast. And last but not least, man, the hat's coming. You should have gotten one. I think you were on episode 157, which was 4 years ago.
Holy cow! It's been that long.
Wait, let's see. 157, 200 and no, it's more than 4.5 years ago, probably.
Jeez.
So yeah, you were on then. So,
but you're gonna be a guest on Everybody Has a Story. So we're gonna get that booked up very, very quickly. But
I'm looking forward to that, man. I want to thank you so much for coming on again. We got Russ Lackey coming on next week. Stay on as we go out at the end, and everybody, we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Hit it.